Archie to Africa. He may not know much about it, but it would appear that the young fellow is in for a trip to Africa, as according to Jessica Gibb, writing in the Mirror, Prince Harry planning to make up for son Archie for missing coronation with big gesture. Now, Jessica Gibb, the deputy showbiz editor, makes an error in the very first line of her article, somewhat typical of the lax reporting that goes on these days. See if you can spot the error. Prince Harry is reportedly planning to make up for his son Archie missing King Charles II's coronation in May by taking him on an unforgettable trip to Africa. Did you notice the error? I'm sure you did. No wonder he missed King Charles II's coronation. It took place fucking years ago. It took place over 350 years ago in 1661, following King Charles II being restored to the throne of England in 1660, following the interregnum under Oliver Cromwell. So it's no wonder the wee chap missed out on the coronation. It was a long, long time ago. Of course, the writer means King Charles III, but this error-strewn approach at times really is irksome. Anyway, putting that to one side, Harry, 38, is travelling to Africa soon to film his upcoming Netflix documentary and is hoping to take his 4-year-old son Archie on the trip. Prince Harry has never made a secret of his love for Africa, and the bond seems to get stronger as the years go by. The Duke of Sussex travelled to Kenya and stayed on Kiwayu Island in the Indian Ocean when he was a child. Whether he is helping AIDS orphans in the impoverished kingdom of Lesotho or witnessing landmine clearance projects in Angola, Harry has long spoken of his strong bond with the continent. He has long said he feels more myself in Africa, and he once revealed his dream job would be over there. "I probably live in Africa," said Harry. "I'd like to spend all my time out there, as a job. It would probably be a safari guide." And now the Duke is excited to get back to where he feels most at peace. He mentioned this repeatedly in amongst the Todger cream application in Spare. Of course, Harry's wife isn't interested in Africa. It doesn't have film premieres in the way that it does in Hollywood. It doesn't have the prominence that the United States has. And therefore, it doesn't have an A-list like the one that she wants to hobnob with, or the opportunities that she sees as relevant to her. Of course, she believes that she's a philanthropist, that she's a bananitarian, and therefore with the various struggles and issues that certain countries on the African continent experience, that would be a fertile place for her to flex those bananitarian and philanthropic muscles. Of course, we know she's not interested in any of that. It's all done for show as part of her facade. Even when she went to Africa a number of years ago, pre-Harry, she just used it as an opportunity for a charity to pay for her to travel there so she could do a photo shoot for the gram and basically hardly have any involvement with the people that she was meant to go and see. Self-absorbed, self-interested, and selfish once again. For Harry, though, no matter the criticisms that you will level at him, and many of which are justified, he does evidence that he cares about certain projects and people in Africa. And because he is cerebrally challenged, he finds that it is more effective for him to roll up his sleeves and get down and dirty in Africa, doing rather than being expected to talk about things. He's much happier doing the practical rather than engaging in the speech giving, the motivational discussions, etc. All of the fluffy stuff that Harry's wife loves so much. Unfortunately for him, when it came to the question of Megxit, Africa would have been an excellent option because it would have afforded them two things. First of all, Harry would have been far happier, and secondly, it would have given them the privacy that they purportedly claimed. We all know, though, that that wasn't what Harry's wife wanted at all, and she wanted to be able to merch her royal connection in the United States, believing that people would be falling over themselves to couple up with her for the purposes of giving her money and turning her into a celebrity rather than being a member of the royal family. Africa wasn't going to fit the bill in that respect, and Harry's happiness, despite what she says, falls a long, long, long way behind what she requires. And now he's off to Africa on his own. But it seems that he wants to take Archie with him. Well, the report states that Harry's always wanted to show his kids the continent that has been so special to him for so many years. It's here he's felt close to his mum, where he followed in her footsteps. And it's almost a familial right that he gets the joy of showing Africa to his son. When King Charles was crowned earlier this year, Harry travelled to London alone to watch his father's coronation, and now he reportedly wants Archie not to miss any more big moments. He's old enough now to appreciate it, and Harry has been desperate for Archie not to miss out on once-in-a-lifetime experiences since the coronation, the source added. Harry will be following in his mother, Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, footsteps by heading back to Africa for the new solo project. The reports came via Page 6, with a Netflix insider telling them, obviously Harry has a lot of roots in Africa and he feels at home there. The publication also reports the exact nature of the documentary is not yet known, and Harry cannot move ahead with his plans due to the ongoing Hollywood writers' strike. In his previous documentary with Netflix, Harry appeared alongside his wife, Harry's wife. The series, entitled Harry's Wife and Harry, was released late last year and chronicled the pair's humble beginnings, life in the spotlight, and present-day family life. Harry wants to go to Africa and, understandably so, wants to show it to his son. A caring father indeed. But big question remains, would Harry's wife let him do that? Well, on the one hand, she doesn't care about the children. They're just those extensions of herself that are utilised when it's convenient. The rest of the time, they'll be fobbed off with the nannies. However, she may well regard Harry taking Archie to Africa as a threat to her control, that her paranoia will say, what if he goes and doesn't bring him back? What if he goes and decides to stay? She may not be so bothered about Harry departing because his disengagement is in the post, but any action in that regard in relation to the son, Archie, is going to prove problematic and will be perceived by her as a threat to control. Now, there's no suggestion whatsoever that Harry's going to go to Africa, take his son, and not return, but that doesn't matter to the narcissist. Her paranoia will find whatever it needs to cause her to assert control over Harry and her son. And it'll whisper in her ear, what if he takes him away from you? What if he's planning to get him to fall in love with Africa like he has? What if this is part of his plan to break you up? Thus, Harry's wife becomes motivated by those whisperings of her paranoia to assert control over Harry by saying, you're not going, or, more likely, you can go, but Archie's staying here. She does that not because she cares about her son, but simply because she needs to control both him and Harry, and there is the possibility that her narcissism will see the suggestion that Archie goes to Africa as well as a threat to her control, and thus she will stymie it. Harry, naturally, will be far happier in Africa for two reasons. One, it's a place that he really does enjoy, and two, he'll be away from his wife, as he may now start to be realising that things are far easier when he's not around her being devalued. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.